We'll start with the next topic, revisiting irrational numbers. Okay, now in previous class, that is 9th standard, you have learned what are irrational numbers like root 3, root 2, root 5. Okay, they are all irrational numbers. Okay, now these irrational numbers cannot be written in P upon Q form. Okay, so just turn the page, you will have more examples here. Okay, all these are irrational numbers. Okay, now we will start with the theorem 1.3. Now theorem 1.3 says that if P is a prime number and P divides A square, then P will divide A, where A is a positive number. Okay, so for the further explanation, we will just go very quickly here. Okay, now take an example, P is equal to 2 and A square is equal to 81. Okay, now here if we see P does not divide A square because 81 does not divide 2. 81 cannot be divided by 2. It is not possible. So when 81 cannot be divided by 2, P does not divide A because A is equal to 9. Similarly, 9 cannot be divided by 2. So if a number does not divide the square, it will not divide the square root also. Okay, so if 2 does not divide 81, it will not divide 9. Without remainder we are talking about. Okay, for example, if P is 2 and A square is 36, here 36 divided by 2 is possible, so P divides A square, and because it divides A square, A is equal to 6, so also 6 is also divided by 2, so that is also possible. So that we conclude that if we have a prime number, okay, it should be a prime number. Okay, now here if we see, take 2, okay, 2 is a prime number. Now here it does not divide 81, but here it divides 36. So if it does not divide 81, it will also not divide 9. If it divides 36, it will divide 6. Okay, that is the theorem 1.3. Okay, now we come back to the textbook again and we go for the theorem 1.4. Now here theorem 1.4, we have to prove that square root 2 is irrational. Okay, now for proving square root 2 is irrational, we will take a contrary that square root 2 is rational. So if we prove that it is rational, that means it is not irrational. If we prove that it is not rational, that means it is irrational. Okay, so let us see whether square root 2 is rational. Now if square root 2 is rational, we should be able to write it in form of R upon S. Okay, and they should have have a factor common other than 1. Then only we can write in R upon S form. Okay, so let us see if we have a square root 2 which can be written in A upon B form, where A and B are co-prime. Now what is the meaning of co-prime? That means they have only one factor in common, that is 1. Okay, so when you cross multiply this, we get B square root 2 is equal to A. Okay, when you cross multiply these two, okay, we get B square root 2 is equal to A. Okay, now squaring on both the sides and rearranging, we get 2b square. So squaring this, we get b square, squaring this, we get 2. So 2b square, and this is a, so we get a square. Okay, so therefore 2 divides a square. Because we get this, that means 2 can divide a square. Now if 2 can divide a square, it can also divide a. That is, we have seen theorem number 1.3. Okay, so if square is divisible, so a is divisible by 2, because a is divisible, a square is divisible by 2, so a will be also be divisible by 2. So suppose a divided by 2 is c. Okay, so we get a divided by 2 is equal to c. So a is equal to 2 multiplied by c. So a is equal to 2c. Okay, now this value of a is equal to 2c you have to put here. So here you will get 4c square. Okay, so instead of a square you put 2c square, you get 4c square. Okay, so 2b square is equal to 4c square. That means b square is equal to 4c square upon 2. So b square is equal to 2c square. What does this mean? B square is equal to 2c square. That means that 2 again is dividing b square. So if 2 is dividing b square, 2 will also divide b. Okay, so if 2 is dividing b and 2 is also dividing a, okay, that means 2 has a and b have at least 2 as their common factor, which is dividing a also, it is dividing b also. But if this is there, then it cannot, which we have here assumed here, that they are co-primes. Now co-primes means they will have no other common factor than 1, but here they have common factor 2. Okay, so that means our assumption is incorrect. Incorrect. That means that square root 2 is not rational, it is irrational. Okay, similarly you have got example 9, you have to prove square root 3 is irrational. So same, using theorem 1.4, you take square root 3 is equal to a upon b, then cross multiply, okay, then square it. So squaring it, you will get this. Okay, that shows that 3 is dividing a square. So if 3 is dividing a square, it will also divide a. So a divided by 3 is c. So a is equal to 3c. Okay, now substituting this value here, okay, you get 9c square. So here what you will get is 3b is equal to 9c square. Okay, so then you get b square is equal to 3c square dividing 9 by 3. Okay, so here you will get 3c square. So that means again b square is divisible by 3. So b is also divisible by 3. So if b is divisible by 3 and a is also divisible by 3, that means a and b have got this 3 as a common factor. Okay, but they are co-prime, so this is not possible. Co-prime has only 1 as a common factor, but here we are getting 3 as a common factor. So again our assumption is incorrect. So again square root 3 is rational number. Thank you.